Our republic is being restored. We the people must learn to stay free. How do we govern ourselves? We must learn the ancient ways. Come along on this journey of the Hidalgo Show and learn how to be free. Welcome to Season 3. Hey guys, this is Rick from TWA. It is extremely important in these days that we live that everyone has private forms of communication, not only for everyday conversations, but also for things such as purchases, medical records, and travel plans. Email is one of the most important forms of messaging for the most sensitive types of information. In the name of convenience and free services, companies have slipped things into their policies that allow them to watch your every move on the web. Your information is being used and purchased in ways that continue to become more invasive by the day. Getting a private email account is only the first step in taking back as much of your privacy as you can. Go to the link provided below this video to secure your very own private email account for $3.99 a month or just $39.99 a year. If you act today, you get your first month on me by entering coupon code 46CQDJDT. That's 46CQDJDT at checkout. Start today. Protect your information now. Hello everyone, this is Rick Dehijo Binya, and this is another episode of the Hidalgo Show. Hoping that this one will be quick, but I want to show you some things. I want to show you why self-governing is so important. Why self-governing is critical, especially to the place that we're at in the world today. There's this thing called an adhesion contract that I want to talk to you about. I want to define it first, and then I want to show you something. Okay? So what is an adhesion contract? An adhesion contract is an agreement where one party has substantially more power than the others in setting the terms for the contract or of the contract. For a contract of adhesion to exist, the offerer must supply a customer with standard terms and conditions. In other words, any government form you ever look at, standard terms and conditions, that everybody fills out the same form, and that these conditions are identical to those offered to other people. Those terms and conditions are non-negotiable, meaning the weaker party in the contract must agree to the contract as it is rather than requesting clauses be added, removed, or changed. Adhesion contracts may also be referred to as boilerplate contracts or standard contracts. Well, we're going to call it an adhesion contract because it's not quite a boilerplate. Boilerplate does have to be equitable in some ways. But let's look at the key takeaways. These are important. Adhesion contracts are take it or leave it agreements, which you must accept the contract as a whole or walk away. Okay? Secondly, adhesion contracts are meant to simplify business transactions by standardizing the agreement between the supplier and the buyer. Okay, if there's anything that government or Babylon or the corporation is good at, it's making everything the same as far as contracts. Social Security, licensing, everything that you can possibly imagine. Identification cards, everything. It's boilerplate in the sense that it's similar to everybody else. To be enforceable, the adhesion contract cannot be unreasonably one-sided. Well, that's interesting because it is unreasonably one-sided. You can't make any decisions, so it's not enforceable. Okay, that's an interesting thing to find out. Now, courts ultimately decide what is reasonable within an adhesion contract. This evolves over time and may differ across jurisdictions. So here, Here's the out that this famous website, Investopedia, has given government or courts. The out is, it can fluctuate and change how an adhesion contract is recognized. But the main article of an adhesion contract is one that is take it or leave it. Okay? Now, if you have a right to do something, that's natural, that's God-given, and a contract is brought forward, which all contracts in the Babylon world come through applications. Your application for license, your application for your SS4, your SS5, your whatever. It's an application. That's how all adhesion contracts are done within the Babylonian Corporation. So be aware of that. And I want you to come to an understanding that they really can't be enforced unless you participate. The whole enforcing element of it comes down to what you agree to. You agree to enforcement, as in the case of let's say a driver's license. When you apply with terms and conditions. Those terms and conditions are that you are operating a motor vehicle. And there are laws for operating a motor vehicle that have been created specifically for that, and that you've agreed to when you sign your application for a driver's license. Okay? So that's a very simple one, but that applies all the way across the board. We have the ability to do everything ourselves in the private. We don't need Babylon. But Babylon has simplified it and made it easy and made us believe that if we don't participate, we're going to be the oddball. We're going to be the one that's picked on, that's made to do what Babylon wants. But that is just not the case. We don't have to. We can be self-governing. We can choose to exercise our freedoms and liberties. Okay? Now I want to show you something. I want to take the concept of adhesion contracts, and I want to show you how you can identify what kind of beast this Babylonian system is here in the United States, and actually all around the world. Okay, I want to show you, and it's been here for a long time. Okay, so this isn't something we're coming into. This is something that's been here for a long time. Over 100 years has this beast system been in place through the central banks. Okay, so I want to show you this. Title 28 of the United States Code, Chapter 176, is the chapter that deals with federal debt collection procedures. Okay? This is under the Title 28, which is Judiciary and Judicial Procedure. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because this defines how they are going to operate in their judicial system, which is the what? The debt collection system. Think about it. You're charged with something. Let's take that licensing to drive. You're charged with driving without a license, right? So they charge you. That is a debt collection procedure. Okay? I want you to see how they define the United States under this title, under this chapter. Watch this. So, here it is. Title 28, U.S. Code, subsection 302, definitions. If you go down to United States, here it is. United States means a federal corporation Okay? So, in this chapter, they've defined United States to mean a federal corporation. So it's a federal corporation for what? Let's go back. It's a federal corporation for debt collection. Okay, I'm going to show you again. What is the definition of United States? The United States means a federal corporation or an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States. But how do they define the United States? A federal corporation. Or an instrumentality of the United States. Well, what does United States mean in that case? It's a revolving circle. You see how it just keeps coming back on itself? It's a snake eating its tail. What does that tell you? United States means a federal corporation. So, there you have it. If anybody in the world thinks that this is a legitimate government that functions in a de jure capacity, think again. They just told you in their own code, Title 28, all right, that they are a federal corporation for the purpose of collecting a debt. When you're charged, that's a debt. When they convict, that's collection. Ladies and gentlemen, be not deceived. We are not coming into a time when Babylon will rise. We have been in a time where Babylon has arisen. Okay? You're late to the party if you think we're coming into a time when Babylon is arising. There's already been Babylon for quite some time. This third incursion in the United States of a central banking system, okay, is the Babylonian system, and it's already here. If you don't think that it's already here because you can still go to the store and buy something, you better look in your wallet and ask yourself the question, how did you get your bank account? Did you have to get a special number to get your bank account? Who controls that number? Is it part of the federal debt apparatus system? Well, sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've already been in it for a long time. So, stop looking at the times we're in as unusual and start looking at the times we're in as a time when you have to make a decision and I have to make a decision consciously to exercise our rights, our liberties, and our privileges. Because there are privileges that come with being an American citizen. And it's time for us to stand up and to take back that which we can lawfully do. We can be a custodian of record. We can freely travel. We can freely educate. We can freely lots of things. We've just got to sit down and educate ourselves and start to understand that we have a duty under God to come out of Babylon and begin to use our own services in our own houses. What was it that Joshua decided? He said, indefinitely, like without even thinking twice, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. How about your house? Are you going to serve the Lord? Are you going to start to self-govern? That's what serving the Lord means. It means you taking care of your business. I take you back to the first couple shows I did this season. What happened with the record of the transaction between Jacob and Esau. It was put into the records with Joseph in Egypt. It was kept private. Naphtali was sent, according to the book of Jasher, to go and collect that record in Egypt, because they were the custodians of record. They didn't have to go to Pharaoh. They kept that record. And that record would have exonerated Jacob and his sons. Now, before Naphtali could come back, Esau was already dead. But my point is, we are record keepers. And folks, we are lawmakers. We are the lawmakers. We already made the law. It's called the Constitution. The Constitution is the law. And it gives us enumerated rights and unnumbered. Our rights come from God. The Declaration of Independence makes that clear. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to learn to self-govern. That's what this channel is all about. We're going to have a lot more content coming. But if you will, stick around just a couple minutes and watch this ad that I put together for a friend of a great new place that you can go and in the private exchange goods. Okay? God bless you. God bless your family. I hope this day you've decided you're going to take the journey and start to self-govern. Everything we do here at the House of Hidalgo, well, our house is called Hidalgo, but the Hidalgo Show is all about the blood. Hello everyone, this is Rick from the Hidalgo Show. I wanted to introduce you to a great new site built by a very good friend of mine who happens to be a minister. ShopYourFarmcom is a place that you can bring your products, your produce, or your service and find other like-minded private vendors that want to do business. In fact, it's a great place to find new consumers. We're trying to build this site, so if you would, send your friends and family, get on as a vendor, and let's start to make trades with each other in the private. That's what it's all about. You can come here and you can do shopping, or you can go to your video conference and video conference with other vendors and also with other consumers who want to buy your product. This site has it all the bells, all the whistles for a very low price. You can come here and you can join at www.shopyourfarm.com. Come on and let's get started doing business. Our republic is being restored. We the people must learn to stay free. How do we govern ourselves? We must learn the ancient ways. Come along on this journey of the Hidalgo Show and learn how to be free. Welcome to Season 3.